Okay, welcome to the first video here in the Janot Kingston Beginning Band. Today we're going to learn how to put together and blow our first notes on the alto saxophone. I have the alto saxophone, I have a mouthpiece, I have a gooseneck, I have the body of the saxophone, and I have the reed. The reed is very important. The little thin part of the reed is the part that you don't want to touch. You always want to keep it in a reed guard. Never store it in the case on the mouthpiece. We'll put that on in just a second. First thing you should do is take a reed out and put it in your mouth. I'm going to put the reed back because I can't talk and put the reed in my mouth at the same time. While the reed is in your mouth, that would be a good time to put on your neck strap so you remember that you have it on. The neck strap is adjustable and you will have to adjust it. Next thing I will do is grease my cork. I'll take some cork grease. This is the gooseneck of the saxophone. I'm just going to take a little bit of grease and work it in to the cork. This way the mouthpiece will slide on nice and easy. Keep in mind I've kept the rest of the instrument in the case. The next thing I'll do is I'll go ahead and twist my mouthpiece and ligature on to the gooseneck. As you can see, the ligature screws are on the bottom. The hole is also on the bottom. This is what it's going to look like assembled. Next, if I'm not constantly talking, I'll take the reed of the instrument, which will now hopefully be a little bit wet with spit from inside your mouth. And I'm going to put, I'll get a little closer here. You may not be able to see my face, but hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. I will take the ligature. As you can see, there's just a little crown of black on the top. I will then tighten the ligature screws. Not very tight, just so it's snug. We just want to hold the reed onto the mouthpiece. Notice that the ligature is well below the cut part of the reed. There's a very unfinished, curved bamboo cane part of the reed, and this part is scraped. This part should be all free. Okay? When I put that together, I should be able to get a sound on the gooseneck by curling my bottom lip over my bottom teeth, resting my top teeth about halfway onto the mouthpiece, and blowing. I start with a 2 sound. That's good. Just blowing and getting a foo type of sound is not the desired effect. We want a nice strong attack. Alright? Now that I have the mouthpiece onto the gooseneck, I'm going to attach the instrument to the gooseneck. I'll then take the body of the saxophone out. There's a little end plug that needs to be taken out. First I'm going to hook up the body of the instrument. That way if I would happen to let go, it won't fall. I'll take the end plug out, loosening the screw or screws first. Some of you only have one screw up here. Some have 2. I'll then take this unfinished portion of the gooseneck and holding it close to that, I will slowly twist, tighten the screws, and right now I have the finished instrument in my hand. Okay? I'm now going to sit down and talk to you a little bit about the way to hold the instrument and get our first notes. Notice I'm sitting on the front edge of my chair. My feet are flat on the floor. I happen to have one foot a little further than the other. That's alright as long as they're both fairly flat on the floor. I want to hold the instrument with my right hand with the thumb underneath the thumb rest. My fingers will come around and they will touch these 3 keys. My left thumb will rest on that round thumb rest in the back of the instrument. This is where it gets a little complicated. You'll notice that there should be a key up here. Some saxophones have a pearl, some it's just shiny metal. you're going to put your index finger on the first pearl here, skipping this top one. You're going to skip the little tiny one, put your middle finger here, and your ring finger will belong here. When I'm sitting up straight, the mouthpiece should come just under my bottom lip, between my bottom lip and chin. It's too low right now and I need to adjust it. I'll adjust it so that the mouthpiece is right below my bottom lip, no lower than my chin. This allows me, with a little bit of an adjustment, to hold the instrument in my mouth like this. I'm a bit taller than the beginner. The beginner, it'll be a little lower to their legs. They'll have to bring their hand back. You don't want to hold it up straight. You want it just a slight 30-degree angle into the mouth. At which point I'm ready to blow my first note. The first note for me is going to be the B. The B is the first key on the left hand. Notice that I am skipping this. It's either a pearl or it's a shiny key. Here's my B. The next note that I will play is an A. I then add the second finger. Remember, I'm skipping the little tiny pearl. The third note we're going to learn in beginning band for the saxophone is the G. That's when I have the first, second, and third fingers on the left hand down. The G is also called our tuning note. It's called the tuning note is because when we tune everyone up and we play a concert B flat, the saxophones will play a G. And now that we've put the instrument together and blown our first notes, we're going to put the instrument away. The best way to put the instrument away is to take the instrument apart one piece at a time. That way you have your hands free to deal with the rest of the instrument. You don't have to set anything down. The first thing you should take off is the reed. I'll take off the reed, again avoiding the thin side. You might just want to run your fingers very carefully just to absorb or wipe off any excess moisture, and very carefully put the reed back into the reed guard, which you can then put in your case. At this point my hands are still free and I can take off the ligature and the mouthpiece. Again, if I took the gooseneck off first, I'd have to juggle all these parts. Now, I can put this away, put this in its mouthpiece cap, put that in my case. When I finish that, I can loosen the gooseneck, either by loosening one screw or both screws. Carefully pull it out, put it away. Looks like I've left my cork grease out. I'll put that away too. I can now take my end plug, put it back into the saxophone. Just tighten them up till they're snug. And I can then put the instrument away. Just to troubleshoot on the instrument while I'm taking my neck strap off, make sure that you haven't tightened the reed too tight onto the mouthpiece. That's a good way to keep the reed from vibrating. We need the reed to vibrate to get a good sound. Okay, the next time we have a video for the saxophones, we'll be working on our first three notes.